Good morning, Jim Sunderwirth here. So good to be with you again. Listen, yesterday was kind of rough when we talked about the blessing that Jacob put on Reuben and Simeon and Levi. Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about Judah, which was the next one. And Judah, you shall be praised. Your hand shall be on the neck of your enemies. Your father's children shall bow down before you. Judah is a lion's whelp. Talking, a lion's whelp. And from thy prey, my son, you have gone up. He bows down, he lies down as a lion, as a lion who shall lies down, and who shall arouse him. Listen, the scepter shall not depart out of Judah. This is the one thing, he saw the future. I gotta understand, and we could talk all about the wine and this and that and judgment, but I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the fact is, out of Judah the scepter shall not leave. Why? Because Jesus came out of that tribe, and when Jesus comes, and when Jesus is he's Messiah, and it'll never, the rule will never leave Judah, because Jesus is from that tribe, and it's a tribe of praise, and out of that tribe the Messiah shall come and shall rule forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And that was quite a blessing that Jacob saw. And we could go into that, but I just don't want to get into the detail. I just want you to know that's a very positive thing about it. He got blessed by Jacob, and Jacob saw the future. Zebulun, he will live in the north part. I didn't say much about Zebulun. And then it said Issachar. He said, I tell you what he said about Issachar. He said, you're lazy. He said, you're like a donkey, just lying down. He said, and you're going to be run over. And they were. Issachar was run over. They were servants, but they were strong. They were donkeys. They were strong, but they were lazy donkeys. They were lazy, and God couldn't use them. They were frustrated for years. And then Dan will provide justice, and out of the tribe of Dan came Samson, and one of the great judges. He of course failed, but yet he did at the end did a great thing. So they were blessed and honored, and they were talked about. And then Gad, had great armies of commanders. He was will be a strong fighter. Asher and Naphtali will be up in the Galilee area. In fact, Jesus lived in the Galilee area, and that's where Naphtali was. And then Joseph will have the double blessing. The double blessing will be of we already talked about Manasseh and Ephraim. And he used blessing when he talked about Joseph. He used blessings 6 times when he talked about Joseph. It was a beautiful thing. And he talked about the shepherd of Israel and all the blessings that come with that. So he really blessed Joseph. And then, of course, Benjamin will be a ravenous wolf. In the morning shall devour his prey, and at the night he will divide his spoil. So Benjamin. Saul, King Saul came out of the tribe of Benjamin. Paul the apostle came out of the tribe. A great fighter, Ehud, came out of the tribe of Benjamin. So they were strong. So there was a lot of mixed blessings, both positive and negative when it came to these men. But boy, Jacob didn't pull any punches. And so after he did this, he pulled his legs, after he blessed him, pulled his legs up in his bed, and Jacob died at 147 years old. So then Joseph fell on his father's face and wept over him and kissed him. And Joseph commanded his servants and the physicians to embalm his father. So the physician embalmed Israel or Jacob. And that was quite a thing as they embalmed him back then. It was those Egyptians knew how to do it to sustain their bodies over many hundreds of years. They had the embalming. It took 40 days, and then they grieved or mourned for 70 days. And this is how they honored Jacob, because the pharaohs were honored for 72 days. They honored this Israelite. They honored Jacob for 70 days. And then a whole entourage of Egyptians and a whole entourage of Egyptians, and of course the whole family went with them back up into Canaan, where they buried Jacob. And they had another mourning for 7 days up there, and it was quite amazing how they honored the father. And it says after they had buried him with great dignity, he came back to Egypt. Joseph came back with the entourage back to Egypt. and and was there for 54 more years. So he was there, and we see this aspect. And tomorrow we're going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap this whole thing up, and we'll head on to another study. But you come back tomorrow as we wrap up Genesis, okay, in the life of Joseph.